I hope you guys aren't sick of my face yet, because you're going to have me all evening tonight. And today we have some very special guests with us from Switzerland. But before we get to them, one quick thing I wanted to just say thank you guys so much for making the first 2 days of AdventureFest so great. It has been such an awesome event. We've had so much happening both on the main stage and in the trade show, and we appreciate you joining us here tonight. So let's bring in our guests, Paolo and Florin. Welcome to AdventureFest stage. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Hi, Michael, and hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Nice meeting you.
You guys have been at AdventureFest for the whole show, at least at the trade show part of the show. Tell us what's been going on in your booth these past couple days.
Yeah, I think we had two good days. I mean, especially today, where we also were running our Ticino Switzerland quiz. So we had some great engagement at our booth. And we will be running another quiz actually on Thursday. So make sure you join us again, because on top of learning more about Switzerland and Ticino in a fun way, you actually can enter to win some great prizes, which never hurts. And then, of course, tonight we will focus about cooking risotto in the Ticino region, but there is much more to learn about the region. So you can, again, come to our booth for a destination training about this unique corner of the country.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was in the quiz earlier today. I'm not going to divulge what place I landed in. I'm not too proud of it, but it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun in your booth. I know you're going to be doing it again tomorrow. I highly recommend anybody who's here listening. The questions aren't easy. Florin is the one that runs the quiz. I don't know if he picked the questions or not, but they were not the easiest of questions. So if you can make them a little easier tomorrow, Florin, that would be great.
Yeah,
Give me a better
try
chance.
to make a mix of like a bit learning and of course a bit fun and interactive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope you still learn something, and yeah.
Absolutely. I think it was a great way to learn. I know that some of my team members were on it a little bit as well, and they had mentioned that it was an engaging way. It's something that we're even thinking about, finding ways that we can have more of our partners do what you guys do, because it was so interesting. So we already have a question coming in, wondering if it's a mushroom risotto or a specific kind of risotto rice. Do we know the answer to this, or are we going to get the answer in the video?
You definitely will get the answer in the video, but it's at the end of the day, it's very much up to you, right? So what you're gonna see tonight, it's the traditional risotto, so with no mushroom, just a saffron risotto. But of course, you can adapt it to your liking. For example, with mushrooms. So yeah, definitely. But tonight we're gonna see the traditional version.
Very, very good. And it's live. It's not live, but it's pre-recorded from Ticino. They actually recorded it in the Ticino region. So let's talk a little bit about the video. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to be seeing coming up here. I've never cooked risotto myself. I've heard that it's a very difficult dish to cook. So I don't know if you guys have cooked it at all, but tell us a little bit about what we're going to be seeing, what we're going to be learning about, because I'm really excited about it.
I tried many times to cook risotto, but I feel like whatever it's in the kitchen area, it's quite difficult for me. But apparently they say risotto is actually not that difficult. Excuse me. And maybe just one thing I wanted to point out, that the lady that will actually show us how to cook a risotto and the location where this risotto has been cooked, it's Veronica Lafranchi, and she's the country manager North America for Ticino Tourism. So that's definitely your go-to contact for any Ticino related questions you may have moving forward. And maybe just a couple of words about Ticino. Ticino, it's the only Italian-speaking region in Switzerland. It's located in the south and it borders with Italy, and that's why we have such a big Italian influence. For example, my name is full Italian. I speak Italian. But I'm Swiss. I'm 100% Swiss, right? But being that close to Italy, and that's also why we say that Ticino, it's a bit where the Italian lifestyle meets the Swiss quality. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. And it's very easy to reach. I mean, either you can fly into Zurich, and it's about 2 hours away from the airport, or you can even reach it from the Milan airport, which is only about an hour away. And what we're gonna see tonight, it's actually an experience that anybody can do. So I'm sure it would be a great way to impress your clients as well, because this cook and cruise, it's actually something you can book for your clients as well. So, and again, if you need any more specific information afterwards, of course there is the live Q&A, but we're always available for any questions. And this exact location it's in the Lugano Lake, at the southern part of the region. And it's actually, just to give you an idea, it's not too far from Lake Como, which is a very popular destination, of course. And also the landscape is very similar, but you will see that.
Yeah. I mean, I had a chance to watch the video before, and I was just so taken aback by how beautiful the scenery was. And you've mentioned a few things. This is something that our agents can actually send their clients on, which is so exciting that they can actually experience or virtually experience what their clients can actually experience while they're in the Ticino region. Number two, that there's actually going to be live question and answers after the video. So we're going to be joining back with Florin and Paolo to talk about any questions. So as they pop up in the video, we'll answer as many as we can or able to answer at the end as well. And then last but certainly not least, we hope that you guys brought a glass of wine with you and you're ready to enjoy the video. Is there anything else that you want to add before we throw this over to the video that you guys sent along?
No, I think we should get started and get hungry and try this risotto out.
Sounds great. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you on the other side. Let's get right to the video.
Welcome to Ticino. I'm Veronica Lafranchi and I'm the responsible for North America at Ticino Tourism. And this is my friend Patricia Carminati.
Buongiorno. Hello.
She's our guide. And she's the guide that does the cruise and cook. This is the experience that we will show you today. So we will do a little bit of a demonstration with a cookery class and explain you a little bit about Ticino, which is in the south of Switzerland. So Switzerland is not all about snow peaks and skiing, but it's also palm trees and a little bit more of a Mediterranean feel. So we just left from Lugano now. We took this boat and we went to Paradiso, which is translated paradise. And we are now here at the Grotto San Rocco. And then we will cook risotto, which is a specialty from North Italy and Ticino, because we are bordering with the North Italy. And I think you want to tell us a little bit more about this experience.
Of course, this is I could say, experience to enjoy, because we can really, as Veronica said, we come by boat, so we start enjoying the beautiful lake and the beautiful landscape, and then we stop in this place that can be reached by boat. So this is already very, very special. To feel at home, to feel really the atmosphere of Ticino. So we will cook together, then we will sit down all together, we will share the table, and we will share, of course, our delicious wine, our delicious food. So people really enjoy, because after lunch they can just relax here with the beautiful view of the city, or they can continue on the boat to visit Gandria, for example, another beautiful middle-aged village close to the lake. So in half a day you can have all together landscape, sun, sightseeing, and of course our delicious gastronomy that makes really our identity. So all our products can come from the local producers. That's very important for Ticino, for our identity, to have local products.
I would add also good company.
Good company, of course.
Salute!
We are ready.
So we are back at the Grotto San Rocco, here in front of Lugano, this beautiful terrace. And together with Patricia and I, Veronica, we will show you how to make a real risotto from Ticino. A creamy risotto.
Creamy, of course, not a soup. Not
a soup.
And
We
with
don't want
the
a soup.
kitchen with the best view, of course.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to cook here.
So we will explain a little bit what the ingredients are, the quantities. We will list at the end of the quantities for you guys because we use, of course, grams and kilos. So we will make it easy for you at the end if you want to try this at home. And in the meanwhile, while we cook, we will explain you a little bit more about Ticino.
Yes.
So let's start with
we cook.
the important
First of all, things is already hot. We will put our olive oil. And of course, when you are in Ticino, you can enjoy food. And also, have you been in Morcote? Have you been to Morcote?
Yes.
This lovely village.
Morcote was voted in 2016 the most beautiful village of Switzerland, and it is really beautiful. It's a fishing village on the lake.
Yes.
Maybe we have to cook the onions.
The onions.
And so yeah, it's a fishing. Oh, it's okay.
Cooking, and maybe you can help
I
with
can
this.
hear.
Yes, because we need the onions to be glossy, not to get burnt. Otherwise, the taste of the risotto wouldn't be so good.
And what is the secret for the best risotto?
I could say two secrets. First of all, not to get the onions burnt. And second is to have the best broth. This is a natural broth. We put, if you want it vegetarian, different kind of vegetables. Some people can put some bones or meat if they want, but this is vegetarian for us
Stick
today.
to the vegetables.
Yes, that's for vegetables. And then you need to add the broth very, very slowly and to leave the rice to absorb. Otherwise, you will get a soup, and the risotto must be creamy. And the most important thing, now we will add already, have to toast a little bit the rice. And the most important thing is at the end of the recipe, because when the risotto will be al dente, we say in Italian mantecare. So that means that we turn the fire off and we add at the end the butter and the cheese, but at the end only. And that is what we say mantecare, so to leave the risotto to get creamy.
Good, so we already told you some secrets about risotto, how to make the best risotto. Then we want to see your picture. If you make it at home, please send that to us. We'll be very happy to see the results.
Now we will leave the wine that is on the other table. I have to go and pick it up.
Yes. So we have to pick up the wine, but we were talking about Morcote. The wine is already here.
Okay, now it's quite okay.
Yes.
Some wine. Okay.
We're steering. So Morcote.
Yes, you can go by boat, or you can also go by to Lugano and then by bus. But the best is to go by boat because you have the best view from the lake, of course.
There is a beautiful church.
Beautiful church. If you like walking, you have to go up, up, up. It's more than 200 steps, and you go up to the top. And there is a tradition two nice traditions in Morcote. One, this is the swallows are protected, so you can find several nests of swallows in the village. And December 24th, people like to meet in the tower of the church, Santa Maria del Sasso, to eat some food at midnight.
Of course, it's all about food.
Yes,
food
always.
is like a religion in Ticino.
Yes.
So when you come here, make sure you make a grotto experience. Grottos are
Absolutely.
these traditional inns. Like here is a Grotto San Rocco. Or normally you don't find a grotto in a city. Grottos are always a little bit in the outskirts because it tends to get quite warm in the summer, so they're always in the shade of the trees, and that's where you eat the local food. So you don't get pizza or pasta in a grotto. For that you have to go in a restaurant. In a grotto you eat risotto, polenta, the cold cuts, cheeses, wines. I was telling you before about the Merlot wine in Ticino. So we have two kinds of Merlot, the red Merlot and the white Merlot. And unique. You cannot come to Ticino and not taste the white Merlot. Why? Because it's the only place in the world that has white Merlot.
So it's the same grape. And the same grape, we make the red one and the white wine. Without the skin of the grape, we get the white Merlot. Very good also in summertime. For
very fresh.
It's a little fruity, very fresh. Yes, I would say.
Yeah. And so we didn't say, in Ticino we speak Italian. So that's our mother tongue. Of course, we speak also English, but among us, the natives, we speak Italian.
Yes, we speak Italian, but we are Swiss and we feel Swiss, of course.
We feel Swiss, and what makes Ticino so special is that we have the Swiss efficiency, so trains run on time, everything is clean, and it's like they say, it's Italy for beginners. That's what once a journalist told me. It's like so easy to get around and everything. So it's Swiss efficiency.
The perfect mix.
The perfect mix with the Italian touch. So Italian food and Italian language. Italian people look a little bit Italian.
Yes, I mean the Italian influence is strong also in the architecture, in the gastronomy, but you realize also that we are in Switzerland, in case in the South Alps.
And yeah, and talking about architecture also, when you go around the city, you will see that there is some nice architecture as well. And also in the ancient time, with the UNESCO World Heritage, we have 3 castles.
Yes, in Bellinzona. That's the only military example of Middle Age architecture, military architecture. So it's really worth seeing them in Bellinzona, in our capital. And then we have other 2 UNESCO heritage, the San Giorgio Mountain and also the Eastern tradition in Mendrisio. So we have 3 UNESCO heritage to visit and to enjoy.
So much. Even during the pandemic, like, we didn't go anywhere, but I mean, of course I want to travel. Everybody wants to travel, but I told myself so many times, we are so lucky we are in this beautiful place.
And there's always things to discover, even for us that we live here. And
we didn't have the events, of course, but like there is so much outdoor to do, like hiking, biking, paragliding, and also even more crazy stuff, bungee jumping.
Yes, the many things, also canoeing or swimming, just swimming in our beautiful lakes.
Just that.
Exactly.
Or stand-up paddling, it's beautiful too. How is it going with the risotto?
It's going well.
Today is a little windy, so
we need to be patient because we need at least 25-30 minutes to get a good risotto. So always steering with love and patience.
We put a lot of love in it.
Yes. Okay, we can add some asparagus because it's the season. So we can make risotto in several ways, several options. Usually we use season ingredients.
Perfect. And so we are here and we are doing the cruise and cook. So we came from Lugano on this beautiful cruise and now we're cooking the risotto. So, and you can do it with 2 people, you can do it more, there is more food stations. But can you tell, because Patricia is our guide that does the risotto workshop or the cruise and cook, and if you can tell a bit more details about
several years ago I had the idea to make people experience the risotto cooking because it's something that we cook at home. So to make guests to feel like locals, to feel them at home. I had the idea to cook in this beautiful place. And so the idea is to say, you can book it through me because it's upon request. So I try always to customize. It depends on the needs and the interest of the guest. And you can just quickly take a boat from Lugano and come here, come to the grotto. So that's, to start, is already a very beautiful experience because we are outside the city. And then you can have an apero, taste also the wine, and then we cook together as we are doing now. And then when risotto is ready, you sit down comfortably on those tables under the trees, and you can enjoy the risotto, your homemade risotto. And our chef comes also with some meat, with some vegetables, then a dessert, some more wine, red, better for the meat and for the risotto.
Pumpkin soup we had also.
Pumpkin soup also, so it depends on the season. Sometimes we change a little bit the menu because we follow the season, and we also try to have all local products from local producers. So people really enjoy cooking, but also later eating. And of course, at the end, a coffee, a dessert, and a nocino or a grappa, of course, at the end of the... It could be for lunch or for dinner. So people can really choose if they come, if they can have the choice to come by boat, by regular boat, with Ticino ticket. They have a reduction, yes, on top. And so by private boat or with regular boat. But I can organize that, customize for each guest.
And if you want to do a little bit more outdoor at the end, you can come from here, Grotto San Rocco, you go to Gandra, which is another beautiful, beautiful village. Also fishing village, used to be a fishing village, and from Gandria you walk to Lugano through the olive path. There is many olive trees, so you walk, it's a 45-minute walk.
Beautiful. And also in summertime, what I suggest also to do the contrary. We walk in the morning because sometimes it could be we are in the south of Switzerland, so our microclimate is great weather. So we walk in the morning, and then we take the boat, we come here to cook, and then back to the hotel for the siesta, for a relax, to take a nap, to take a nap after lunch.
And so you were mentioning the Ticino ticket. This is something that we're really, really happy to offer all the clients. So basically, when a client comes to a hotel, or youth hostel, or camping place, but American mostly stay in hotels, they receive at the check-in a ticket which is called Ticino ticket. It's free of charge, and they get it automatically at the reception, so at the check-in. And what does it allow them to do? So they can board right away on all the transportations, like trains, the SBB trains, the postal buses, the yellow postal buses that we have in here in Switzerland, and trains, buses, and urban buses as well. So these are all free of charge. Basically, if you make a good use of it, it would be roughly $100 a day worth of money. And we are really also looking to do more sustainable things. So when you take the Ticino ticket, basically your carbon footprint is almost neutral. So we really like this idea also that our guests are able to have enjoying a holiday and really put to the limit the carbon footprint while they're here. So this is also, and it's free of charge, so you don't need to pay anything.
Yes, that's really very important.
That's another reason to come to Ticino. And the outdoors, so
outdoors, of course, with this weather, you can also combine in one day, since everything is very close by. So people can enjoy to be up on the Monte Breo or Monte Voglia, and then cooking risotto here, and maybe in the evening having more life in the city with some music concert or theater or museum. So
we can't wait to go back.
We can't wait. But okay, this summer there will be some music, of course, respecting all restrictions.
Rules and stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, that's I'm looking at our risotto.
It's beautiful. I add, while you were talking, I add some mushrooms also. Yes.
Oh, you can be so creative.
Yes, with risotto. You have the basic recipe, but then you can
Add
really
anything.
have fantasy. And depending on the season, yes, you can add whatever you like. It's very nice also with some goat cheese, for example, fresh goat cheese on the top. Yes, at the end, yes, you can have many, or cherry tomatoes also. We can add at the end.
And risotto for the vegans can be made too, also in a vegan way. So you don't put butter, you just put the olive oil, and you just add all the vegetables you want. Wine is also for
Yes.
no problem. So it can come out really, really nicely, even on a vegan version.
Yes, that's why when I was telling you this customized, I always ask the guests if they have any dietary restrictions, so we can organize. Maybe some lactose-free, we can also have olive oil, or we buy the butter without lactose, and so we can organize that without problem.
And what about Patricia is an incredible guide. She does all these kind of creative tours. Tell us a little bit more about another tour that you're making,
Okay,
like the
yes.
bestseller.
No, the bestseller at the moment, maybe Cruise and Cook also, but together with the Food and Wine Tour. Food and Wine Tour is a traveling menu. We visit the city, so during the city tour, the guide city tour, we made several stops in it. So from appetizers to dessert, we made 3 or 4 stops. So in the first one we have the appetizers, in the second the first maybe the first plate, or at the end the main course. And at the end the desserts. And in each place we have a different specialty and a different wine, of course. So this is very loved by the people, because in about 4 hours they can visit the city. It's the perfect combination of architecture, gastronomy, sightseeing, and of course food. Many people also choose the Food and Wine Tour if it's a birthday, or maybe, yes, because it's also very, they get fun because we go through the cities. It could be for lunch or for dinner too, and they can relax. They can see the city, but at the same time, also for companies, they can talk. They can, while we walk, they can talk instead of being 4 hours on a table. We do this traveling menu,
And you can get to know more people even.
Yes, we get we know meet the locals. So those are the 2 bestsellers, I could say, the Food and Wine Tour and Cruise and Cook. And then every season I like to meet. I take the time to go and meet artisans, producers, to see if they want to cooperate. So I have always some hidden corners, some of the beaten track, some tips or some places that we can visit.
So the recipe for the risotto workshop, it's onions, olive oil, garlic cloves, optional if you don't want to have them. Then risotto, white wine, broth, butter, Parmesan cheese, and salted peppers.
Oh, our risotto
Is ready!
is ready.
And creamy. Good. And we have some friends also, because we cannot stay here on our
Al
own.
dente but creamy.
So we reach them
Yes.
and we introduce you to them.
Well done. Salute. L'applauso alla costa.
What a great video you guys have. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. We appreciate you bringing that along.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, it was fun rewatching it, and I wish I was there cooking that risotto for you guys, but I'll try to do it my next visit.
Absolutely. I remember I remember some of the questions from the quiz from earlier today. I actually have answers in this video here. So for those listening, if you want to do really good on the quiz tomorrow in the Switzerland booth, be sure that you listened closely because there's some great information there. That'll be actual questions on the quiz tomorrow. So that's great.
And actually, maybe if I just can add on, the quiz is actually on Thursday at 2:30 p.m.
Oh,
not tomorrow, but tomorrow we'll have the destination training. But yeah,
great. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so then Thursday they'll have more time to study up and get ready for the quiz. But yeah, we did have a few questions to come in just before we had started the video. A question came in to you, Paolo, asking, what language do most families speak in the Ticino home?
Yeah, so the most spoken and the only spoken language is actually Italian. So everybody speaks Italian there. But then, of course, depending on the area within the region, we all have our own dialect or accent, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, but the main language and what we speak at school and official language is Italian. Yes.
Great. Yeah, and I know that in the video. They were holding glasses of wine and they talked about white Merlot, and a question had come in. Are there any wine recommendations from Switzerland? Do you guys have any wine recommendations? Something you like if we visit Switzerland, what should we be drinking or asking for at the restaurants?
Yeah, I mean, so the first recommendation is actually to enjoy Swiss wine. You need to travel to Switzerland because we're a small country, so we don't produce a big volume of wine. So we actually only export 1% internationally. Not just because we want to keep it all to ourselves, but we just don't have the volume to create, a lot of wine that can be then sold outside of Switzerland. But I mean, we have several types of wines. Depends a bit also on the region you're at. But let's say if we stick to Ticino, I will definitely suggest a Merlot, be it red or, like Veronica said during the cooking session, we actually do something unique, which is white Merlot. And usually Merlot is known for red wine, right? But in Ticino, we also produce white Merlot. So I will definitely try the white Merlot, even though that's probably before the risotto. I mean, with the risotto, a white wine, a red wine is probably better. But yeah, the white Merlot is a must.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we needed one more excuse to go visit Switzerland, the fact that you only export 1% of your wine, so we have to go to Switzerland to try the white Merlot wine. So absolutely another great reason for us to go. And this one might be a little bit more difficult. I don't even know how to pronounce this type of rice, but someone had asked, are we cooking with arborio rice? Is that correct? Is that the correct pronunciation?
Yeah, that's actually a good point. And yes, over here in the US, we will use arborio rice to cook the risotto. Yeah, because it's the right rice that absorbs the liquid, right? So then you really get it creamy like it should be. So yeah, arborio it is.
And I have tried it and it works well. When I moved to the US, I wanted to do a risotto. So I went to the store, couldn't find the rice. And then obviously I asked, where is the risotto? So they looked at me a bit funny. So I thought, they don't understand. And then I looked up online, it's the arborio rice. So it works too, and it's the same, yeah.
And is the arborio rice flour more expensive? Did you find that it was a higher end rice? Would it cost a lot?
No, not at all. I mean, I found it at Whole Foods, for instance.
I misread the question. They're actually asking about the excursion. I'm assuming the rice isn't too expensive, but the excursion itself for our agents to send their travelers on this awesome experience, how much would the experience cost?
So when it comes to the cruise and cook, it really depends. First of all, by the size, right, of the group, and also how you want to get to the location where you actually cook the rice, because you can go by public boat, but you can also go by private boat. I mean, some hotels, especially the 5 stars, they even include this in their offerings, right? So you can ask the hotel to arrange that. So it really depends on what you need exactly, how many people you are. I think it's really a case by case, that you have to look at.
Yeah. Yeah, so as our agents are starting to plan, to send some of their clients to the Ticino region. I've been to Zurich myself, never been to the Ticino region. Again, another reason for me to go back to Switzerland. But as we start to plan or look at our clients going to this area, how long would you recommend, should we send someone to this area? How long should they visit?
I think it's a good, 3-4 nights. You get a good understanding, and you are able to experience a lot of the region. And then, of course, it always, like in any place around the world, right? It really depends how much you want to dive into the area. But I think 3-4 nights, it's a perfect amount, and it really allows you to, enjoy the outdoors, but also relax a little bit and enjoy, the risotto or those, like Veronica said, and this is always one of my highlight every time I go back home. It's like eating in a grotto, like one of those typical Ticino tavern that are very popular in the summer when it's hot.
Yeah. Could you explain that? I know they mentioned it a little bit in the video in regards to what a grotto is as opposed to a regular restaurant. For those that might not have picked it up in the video, can you explain a little bit about what the difference is there between a regular restaurant and perhaps a grotto here in Ticino? Yeah,
so like a traditional and typical grotto, they are normally only open in the warm months. So let's say they probably start operating like in April until early fall, when you can still be outside and eat. Then another characteristic of the grottos is that it's mainly outdoor space, right? Sometimes they have indoor, but maybe 2-3 tables, so very small. So it's all about being outdoor. And another characteristic is they have those like stone tables, and the stone is actually coming from the region, so that's adds another touch of of the local experience. And then the menu. Normally in a real grotto, the menu is not that big, so they might have like 2-3 options, and it's all local food, like like dry meat, or they have polenta, or they have risotto. Of course, it's to my personal opinion, it's really like the best way to dive into the local cuisine culture.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds great. Whenever I travel, I always try and go where the locals are. I know we here at Club Adventures always encourage our travelers during your unscripted time, try to find a place where, if you were actually living here, where the locals would actually go rather than the tourist traps. And it seems like these grottos would be a great place for that. So that sounds great. We do have another question. I'm gonna throw this one to you, Flora, and hopefully it doesn't put you too much on the spot. But if you had a top 5 recommendations for the Ticino region, what would you recommend our travelers do, or our agents have our travelers experience?
Yeah, I mean, I have a few good ones, and of course, then Paolo can top it up with a few like local tips as well. What Swiss Germans, I'm from the Swiss German part, so for us, the Ticino is also kind of a vacation destination. So we really like to go there also for vacation. So, for instance, the Verzasca Valley is very popular for us. It's like the water is so crystal clear. It's amazing just to go there and do a bit of cliff diving or whatever you enjoy, just a bit of a swimming or catching the sun. And then, of course, also what's very popular is Ascona with the promenade along the lake. It's very nice. And another favorite I have that's close by there as well is the Brissago Island. And it has a very unique and beautiful garden with like plants from all over the world. So you take the boat there and you just walk around on this beautiful small island, and you see all these different plants, and it's just, you feel like in a different place with just a beautiful setting. And then also showing the diversity of the region, you have mountains around. You can go up Mont Bre, I think Veronica mentioned it as well, and you have a view of this like beautiful area with the hilly landscape and then the lake in between. So it's really nice.
Sounds beautiful. Paolo, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, pretty good tips for sure. I just add 2. One is for sure Bellinzona, which is the capital of the region, and is famous for its 3 castles that are UNESCO World Heritage. And they're just beautiful because they're up on a hill, so you also have a very nice view, and it really feels like traveling back in time. And then another very a must visit, in my opinion, it's the little village of Morcote, which is on Lake Lugano. And in 2016, it was voted by the Swiss people, actually, the most beautiful village in Switzerland. So those two definitely are places not to miss.
Yeah, it all sounds great. I think we're gonna have to visit your booth tomorrow for some of the spellings of those areas, so that way we can actually get them down and be able to send our travelers there, because they do sound like beautiful areas. In regards to the hotels that are there in the Ticino region, are there a lot of hotels for our agents to choose from?
Yes. So the exact amount, I don't really know it, but I can, of course, look it up and get back to you. But yes, we have many hotels. And let's say that the most popular area for someone to stay is, of course, Lugano. And Lugano is the biggest city in the region. And when I say city, it's still like 45,000 inhabitants. So you don't have to think of a city. In fact, our cities in Switzerland, we call them boutique towns, because they're not big, right? It's not London, it's not Paris. So they're all very manageable by foot. So yeah, Lugano is definitely one hotspot when it comes to hotels. And then, of course, we also have the region of Locarno and Ascona that has a lot of hotels. And when I say a lot of hotels, it's also a variety, right? You have 4-star or 5 stars, 3 stars. You even have youth hostels, bed and breakfast. So you kind of get the whole portfolio available.
Yeah, sounds like there's plenty to choose from. A lot of different options. And in terms of the best time of year to travel, when we're looking to send our travelers there, I'm sure there's a lot of great things to do year round. But do you particularly have a favorite time of the year for travelers to visit, the Ticino region?
Yeah, I think it should be, and I mean, Ticino is also special compared to the rest of Switzerland because we get a lot of sun. So it's one of the sunniest places in the country. So even in winter, you have like days that is like full sunshine. So it's beautiful. But my suggestion would be to visit the area from sometime around early June until start of fall. So let's say mid October, where it's still very mild and you can just do so much, and you can visit the grottos, of course, because you can have dinner there in the summertime. And yes, it offers throughout a lot of activities all year round, but those June, early October, I would say those are the best months.
Great. And I know we here at Club Adventures always talk about going off of the beaten path, doing the things that nobody else kind of knows, the things that only the locals kind of know. So I have a question that you might not or may not know the answer to. In terms of the best kept secrets, some of the things that only the people that live in Ticino know, what are some of the best kept secrets of the region? Where should we send our travelers to kind of get them off of the beaten path?
Yeah, I think the first, sending them to Ticino is already a good start in getting them somewhere like off the beaten path, because it's also, like the most popular destinations in Switzerland are, for example, Lucerne, Zurich, the Jungfrau region, Interlaken, and Ticino will definitely be something new for your clients, right? That you can show them. And then once they're in Ticino, I really think some of them we covered, right? So the grotto, I think that's a very nice way to impress them because you don't find it anywhere else. Have them taste some white Merlot. That's another thing they will not be able to do, outside of anywhere else in the world. And I think and that's also a general Switzerland feature. It's really the ease of getting around and really being able to do a lot in your time there. And you can really go from a glacier to a city, right? In the same day. So that's pretty unique. And I think, yeah, those are the things I will start with.
That sounds great. I mean, like I said, we always encourage our travelers to get off of the beaten path and also try, experiencing the culture. There are many ways to experience the culture. It's through the people, it's through, the historical sites, but it's also through the food. I know we've spent a lot of time talking about risotto tonight, and it's making me hungry for risotto. There's a nice restaurant here that makes a great risotto. I might have to try it coming up this week. But in terms of other iconic dishes of the region, is risotto the only iconic dish, or are there other things that our travelers and agents should try when they're visiting the Ticino region?
So we are, again, like I said at the beginning, we're very much influenced by Italy, and especially northern Italy. So another popular dish is polenta, for example, polenta with meat or polenta with cheese. We also eat, especially in the summer, a lot of dry meat. That's also very popular. And of course, risotto, like we saw, and pasta. So or pizza. So whenever you go to Ticino, you kind of eat the cuisine that you will eat in Italy, and it's basically the same, actually, because we also have many chefs from Italy that actually work in Switzerland, in Ticino. So
Interesting. So don't go to Ticino region on a diet is basically what you're saying. It's a lot to eat.
Don't.
We here at Club Adventures are always looking for those meals that matter. Something that's a really big part of what we do on every one of our tours is to kind of go to those local regions and taste those iconic dishes. So that's definitely some of the things that our travelers and our agents should send their travelers to experience in terms of the meals that matter. We're going to give our agents few more minutes to add in one more question, but I have one question for each of you before we end. First to you, Florin. In terms of your personal favorite aspect or area of this region, personal favorite thing to do, what is your personal favorite thing to do here in the Ticino region that you think everybody that visits should do?
Yeah, I think my favorite experiences, I mentioned it already in the beginning. I really enjoyed that visit to the Brissago Island, this boat ride, going there and then just being on this island in the middle of this beautiful lake, walking around in this park, and there's a nice old villa where you can have a good refreshing wine. So for me, that's a very unique excursion and something I always love doing when I'm there. And it's also very impressive for people you go with. They always enjoy it, and it includes different kinds of activities, like with the boat, with nature, and so on. And in the end, you can even go swimming. So that's my
great.
favorite.
And yeah, that's great. And in terms of the same question to you, Paolo, favorite thing to do in the region, if we had one day in Ticino, our travelers have one day in Ticino, what's the one thing that they cannot leave without doing?
And thanks for asking Florin first, so you gave me some more time, because it's actually tough. I think I will stick to my area where actually I grew up. It's the Verzasca Valley. It's also a place Florin mentioned, and it's really unique because, first of all, and that's a very Switzerland thing, right? In terms of houses, they cannot really build any type of houses, but they really have to stick to the the architecture that distinguished this valley. And the architecture of this valley is really like a stone, cobblestones houses. So when you go through this valley, it really feels like going back 100 years in time, right? And then again, of course, this amazing river that we call them the Maldives of Switzerland because of the water that is very cold, but it's still nice and pretty to look at. And actually, you might know, because this valley, it's also famous for the Verzasca Dam. And that's actually the dam where the 007 movie GoldenEye was actually shot. So it got some fame thanks to that movie as well. So that I would say this is something I will not miss.
Yeah, James Bond, right? I love 007 GoldenEye. I love the movie. I used to play the game on the Nintendo 64 when I was a kid, so I used to love that. We have one more question actually coming from one of our agents to either you, Florin, or Paolo. If someone's looking to not necessarily break the bank, if they're looking for a great way to visit the region without having to spend a lot of money, are there particular hotels or particular areas or things to do?
Yes, I mean, yeah, we have many options. And one thing you have to consider when you book, any Switzerland hotel is that, for example, the price you see is actually what you pay, right? So we don't add any taxes. Like I said today in the quiz and in the destination training, there is no tip. require, right? So what you see is what you pay, and there are many options. Like a 3-star in Switzerland, it's already a very good level, right? And then it also depends on the season, of course. Like if you plan your clients to visit Switzerland or Ticino in general during the week, in the summer, for example, it might be a bit cheaper than having them stay on a weekend, because weekend is usually also when the Swiss people travel to Ticino or other Swiss areas. So those are some tricks to look at, and but then of course, like the hotels itself, you can find very good quality hotels at a decent price. And also here, we would always be happy to help you whenever you look for a specific hotel or experience. And then another thing that Veronica mentioned on the video as well, it's the Ticino ticket, which is actually free when you stay one night in a hotel. And if you make full use of it, it's actually worth $100. So you can really get a lot out of it, and you save a lot of money. So there are many, ways to not break the bank.
That's great. And this is I mean, they're coming in fast and furious here with the questions, but this is a real travel agent question. You probably have heard a lot of those questions before from customers, but in terms of the best gateway to flying in and out of, if we're sending our travelers to the Ticino region, where should they fly into? Bern, Milan? What is the major gateway that we might be able to send our travelers to?
So I will say you have two options. I will say Zurich. And Zurich is the best served airport from the US to Switzerland. So all major North American hubs have service from to Zurich. And then once you land in Zurich, it's only about 2 hours away, not even, depending on where you go into the Ticino area. Another good option will be Milan, and Milano Malpensa. That's the international airport in Milan. It's only about an hour away from Ticino. And then again, I mean, Ticino or Switzerland in general is very easy to combine on multi-countries tours, right, through Europe. So it depends a bit how the clients travel.
Yeah, and that is a great segue into the next question. If they are flying in, getting from Zurich or Milan to the Ticino region, is it easiest to kind of get around by train, public transportation? Should they rent a car to drive around? How should the travelers be prepared to kind of get around the region and get to the region?
Yeah, I mean, we always suggest to discover Switzerland by train, bus, and boat, because Switzerland is famous for train travel. And it's really not just going from A to B, but it's actually an experience. So even if you just transfer from Zurich to Lugano, for example, the scenery you see it's just amazing, right? And you hop on a train in Zurich, they say Grüezi, that's the German way to say hello. And then you get off the train in Lugano and they say buongiorno and ciao. So that's already a feeling that it's kind of unique, right? So we always suggest to get around by train, bus, and boat. And I see there is also another question about the Ticino ticket that it's kind of linking to this topic. And if you get the Ticino ticket, which again you get when you stay at least one night in a hotel, you have all of that covered, right? So you can use buses, boats, trains to get around within Ticino only for free, or included in the ticket. And then you also have some mountain excursions. You have some discounts on specific mountain excursions. So you get a lot out of it. And we're happy also to send like a full list of benefits that the Ticino ticket includes.
Yeah, and I mean, your booth is open throughout the rest of the trade show too, so they can stop in and ask any further questions about that great ticket, or attend your quiz on Thursday, and perhaps maybe even win a public transportation ticket, right, around Switzerland. Can you explain a little bit about what the number one? That's a great thing. What is the first place person win in the quiz? What did I not have the chance of winning today because I came in 7th place in the quiz?
So the number one prize is the Swiss Travel Pass, which is actually very similar to the Ticino ticket, but it covers the whole country. So the Ticino ticket only covers the Ticino region, but the Swiss Travel Pass can be applied for the entire country. And that's basically your all-in-one ticket that gets you to use trains, buses, and boats. Children below 16 years of age, they travel for free with the Swiss Travel Pass. Then you get entrance to 500 museums, You get also here several mountain excursions are for free, and you get in some others you get 50% off. So that's you get a lot of value with the Swiss Travel Pass. And then the other two prices are like surprise boxes that will be sent by us. And by surprise boxes we mean chocolate. I mean chocolate cannot be missed, right? And the Swiss cookies and other goodies.
That all sounds great. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Is there any final parting words that you want to leave with our agents before they head out tonight and before they see you tomorrow at the trade show?
No, I mean, it has been a pleasure to be here with you, and I hope you enjoyed the risotto. You're now already cooking it, hopefully. And yeah, please come visit our booth. If you want to stay in touch with us, just click on request interest, and we will be happy to follow up with you and take it from there.
Thank you. Any parting words, Florian?
Yeah, no, it was a pleasure, and I'm glad that Paolo had the spotlight since he's the expert from Ticino. He's even from there, so he could answer all questions very well. And of course, I very much look forward to hopefully meeting you over the next few days. Of course, join the quiz and don't miss out on the great prizes we have to raffle away.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We're going to have to do this again real soon.
Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
And thank you here at AdventureFest for joining us. All of the ingredients, if you didn't catch them at the end of the video, will be sent out to you through our Club Adventures kitchen. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. This video will also be shared so that way you can kind of follow along as to how to cook as well. It is a great opportunity for you to kind of share your cooking skills. Come to our Facebook page, #AdventureFest 2021. Show us the best risotto that you can cook. Tomorrow, we have another great day at AdventureFest. We're looking forward to seeing you all there. Our day starts with the sunrise over Athens, Greece. So be sure to join us. We can't wait to see you there. We're only halfway through. We've got so much more. Join us for the last 2 days. We look forward to seeing you there.